Do you want an incredible life? One filled with the success, excitement, money, and the ability to do whatever you want without any worry? This is the life that everyone on self-improvement should be looking toward. Reaching in the, reaching a place where they can just do whatever they want in their life. To reach a point where your time is free and money is no longer a worry gives you the power to live the life that you want to live after all of your hard work is done. Well, here's my question. If everyone wants this dream life, why do so many never reach the life that these rich people show off on Instagram? The answer is split into three parts: passion, purpose, and discipline. Should you miss the understanding and mastery of any of these three pillars, and I'm going to call them pillars, you will never reach a point where you can truly be free to do whatever you want in life. Once you have all of these at your disposal, you could start looking at creating your incredible life, and I do mean an incredible life, and developing it into the one that you dream of. It can be hard to know where to start when you're looking to live such a life, and as someone who's working very hard, at least I think I'm working hard to develop an incredible life of my own, I decided on 10 principles that I wanted to add to my life, to start with at least, in order to move me further toward the dream life that I visualize every day. And here's what I've got so far. I'm going to talk about setting clear goals and priorities again, because every high-level man is goal-oriented to a point where they can obsess over the pursuit of their goal, because it ties in closely with their purpose as a man on this planet and the reason why they're alive. A goal-oriented man will never fall victim to distractions and will ensure that he keeps complete focus when working towards anything that he finds important. You need to set out your goals and understand what it is that you want to achieve in life, as well as what is the most important to you in life. Once you know these, you can then divert your energy into these things and break them down into small actionable steps that you can work on and slowly understand and see yourself progress toward that final goal. You also need to get your priorities in order, which sounds a bit mean, but you need to have an understanding of what is more important to you and what is less important. Then you can make sure that your goals reflect your priorities accurately. For example, let me think of one. So if your top priority at the moment is making more money, learning a new language probably is not going to be the most valuable use of your time at the moment. Once you have more money, go ahead, learn a new language. But right now, it's probably not worth doing. I have a template on Notion that I use to set goals for each quarter of the year and make sure that I'm completing them before deadlines that I set. And I highly recommend that every person has a clear way of displaying their goals so that they can see what needs to be done, really. And so they don't forget anything as well because it's important. Everything that you learn is important to you on your journey, and forgetting it is only going to slow you down. Number 2 is gratitude. So on your journey to an incredible life, you have to remember to be grateful for what you have achieved along the way. It will allow you to reflect on the journey and really respect the amount of effort that you're putting in to achieve what you want to do. And you need to remember that you're putting in so much effort to do what you need to do. Even if it doesn't look like you're doing a lot, you're putting in a lot of effort. And you should focus on the things that you're grateful for, and it can help you shift your perspective and overall increase your happiness and satisfaction with your life as a whole. And a lot of people, I'm a good example, tend to become so goal-oriented that they forget about the journey itself, and then they tend to get quite stressed out because they feel like they're not doing enough. But really, if you take a moment to actually look back and see everything you've done to lead up to now, you'll be amazed. You would have done so much more than you think. So, one way of doing this is through another type of journaling called gratitude journaling. And what this is you would write down in your journal 3 things that you're grateful for. Are you grateful that you have a house to sleep in? Are you grateful that you look after yourself enough? And you know you're putting enough work? Are you grateful for having a healthy balance in your life of food and exercise and stuff like that? List it all down and make it clear to yourself what you're grateful for in life. Because usually you'll ignore it until you actually write it down and remember how important it is to you and how grateful you really are. The next one is investing in relationships. So an incredible life tends to not be incredible if you don't have anyone to share it with, in my opinion. And what you want is a group of amazing people around you so that you can share this life and build incredible memories with these people. And you want somebody that you want to be able to build relationships with. And you want a whole variety of those people because they can enrich your life to a whole new level. How would you go about doing this? So you can go about doing this by building and maintaining strong, positive relationships. So go out and socialize with people, network with people at events, find and learn about the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. And then you want to maintain the relationships of the people that you end up meeting by hosting your own events, getting to meet other people through them, and also just connect people together and become a very socially active person. And once you start to create a group of people that you genuinely love being around and that help you achieve what you want to achieve in life, just by being there and supporting you, you'll quickly figure out that it is definitely one of the most important parts in order to live a happy and fulfilling life. And if you don't understand that, then I don't really have any other way to convince you. So my advice is please make time for the people in your life that you think are important. And also make time for finding these people who can add to your group and who you think will also make a great addition to your group of friends, because the more people you have in your group, usually the better that group tends to be, because you'll have a bigger variety of people and you'll have more people to make memories with. And you don't have to do everything with all of them all the time, but you'll have always somebody to do something with. And I feel like that's a huge part of having a good life, is the variety and the ability to just go out and do something with someone. Right, so the next one is taking care of physical health, which should go without saying, is important. But I'm going to go over it anyway. You have to look after your physical health. It should go without saying, because what good is an incredible life if you don't actually have the health to do anything? You can't have all this money and have such a poor diet that you develop health conditions and can't do any of the activities that you dreamed of doing. It would be pointless. So going about taking care of your physical health is really quite easy. So the best way I can think off the top of my head is obviously exercise. And I know everyone talks about why you should exercise, but if you want an incredible life, you have to. It's a non-negotiable. It just has to be done. I can't stress it enough. You just have to do it. So go to the gym, exercise, find a way to exercise every day. Just by turning up every single day, you're going to have such a huge impact on your life and your physical health. And then when you get more comfortable, then you can, work more and increase the intensity and get better results. And overall, you'll see your actual physical health show, because your body will look better, you'll have more energy to do the stuff that you actually want to do, which in turn will mean that you get to the end of a session and you feel great, you feel amazing. And when you get to your dream life, you'll actually be able to do the activities you want to do and have fun doing them, which is a huge part of having an incredible life, actually enjoying it. Another important one is diet. And that's just, making sure that you eat well. Same principle. By eating poorly, you'll end up putting on fat and you'll start to fall into this loop of unhappiness and then trying to just eat more food to feel happy, which doesn't work. This is not the way of doing things. It just isn't. Some people will eat a variety of healthy food, and you'll find that your health will improve a lot. So, do that. It will improve, and eating healthy now will also improve your health in the future. And you'll definitely thank yourself for making the changes now rather than later, without a doubt. This next one is vital, and it is about finding your purpose as a man. Now, finding your purpose in life is without a doubt the most important part of living as a man. By discovering your passion and pursuing them, it can give your life an incredible amount of meaning and purpose. You need to find your passions, and finding them can be difficult. I'll talk about that quick. It might actually take a long time to discover what your passions are. It took me a while, and it took me a few mistakes to realize what I actually have a passion for. Before I went to university, for the second time, I wanted to find out what my passion actually was. I went to university before on a course that I absolutely hated, and I didn't want to make the same mistake again. So what I did, and I advise that you do that as well, to avoid my mistake, I went through and I learned what I really enjoyed doing and that I was happy to do, and more importantly, what I was happy to do for the rest of my life. I found that marketing and social media were two areas of my life that I would happily spend the rest of my life doing, and earning money doing, which is more important as well. I should probably talk about that. You have to make sure that the passion that you are happy to make money doing for the rest of your life. And you have to also make sure that you can actually earn money doing it. So I kind of looked to those two and realized that those two are my main passions and that I could make good money doing it. I had to do something with my life that involved these two areas. And that is how I decided on pursuing, social media marketing. Literally put the two words together, which was easy for me. And that's what I'm doing now. And you can also find your passion. Everyone can find their passion, your purpose, and definitely your meaning in life through a bunch of different ways. And that's usually through working, to be honest. So you can, take up a hobby, volunteer somewhere, find ways to basically find any way to contribute to the world and make an impact. That can be incredibly fulfilling and also very informative on what you think your purpose is as a man. And you may actually find that when you're volunteering somewhere that you accidentally uncover what your purpose is. And that's a great feeling, by the way. I can't really explain it, but it is a great feeling. So now I'm going to talk about learning and growing. So I've talked about the growth mindset a bit, but I'm going to talk about it again here. Because I feel that in order to create an incredible life, you really need to have fully mastered your ability to learn and grow as a man, and how to use feedback more specifically to quickly improve your life. So what you should do is absolutely, without a doubt, and trust me, commit your life to learning and growing as a man. It doesn't have to be a passion of yours, but it absolutely should be where everyone has committed their time to. You should always look for opportunities to increase your knowledge and grow, and basically grab any opportunity you can in life and make the most out of it. Because it will benefit you in the long term, so why wouldn't you do it now? And by having this mindset, it will allow you to constantly learn and grow, which is what I've talked about already, but it also allows you to keep engaged and excited with life, because life will constantly give you new opportunities if you keep taking them. And it will teach you things that you never knew and would never even imagine knowing, which is always going to be exciting. You will also be able to constantly improve, which as a man, at least for me, has an incredible feeling when you see yourself improve over time. The way it works is you can't just learn at the beginning. Even the people that are at the very, very top are still learning and growing today. Because there is never going to be a time in your life where you should stop learning and growing, because you will eventually fall behind. Nobody wants to fall behind in life. So I'll ask you the question, are you committed for the rest of your life to learn and grow as a man? That actually links really well to the next one, which is finding a balance. So another important thing you should realize in amongst all of this is that people don't really talk about finding balance anymore. A lot of the influencers and self-help gurus kind of emphasize that you should constantly be working and constantly be improving, but you should absolutely have a balance. Like, what that means is that you need to have time where you work, time where you rest, and time where you just enjoy yourself. So you need to make time for relaxation, and I don't mean bad habits like social media and stuff. I mean any hobbies that you have. So, and if you don't have hobbies, find hobbies, because I feel like everyone should have some hobbies just so they can, stay sane. An opportunity where you can just zone out and enjoy life. And you also need time for fun activities like going to parties, but these will be scheduled and stuff. Hanging out with friends, whatever it is. Because it will help you not only keep that balance going, but it'll also help you to recharge your energy, which is a big thing that nobody talks about, weirdly. When you go out and you start to not focus on your business and everything, you have a chance for your brain to actually charge back and get energy. And that way, when you do get back to work and you do focus on your business and whatever you're working on, you'll have more energy and more focus to actually create better results, which is what, the most valuable use of your time, honestly. Definitely something that is difficult at the beginning and is currently very difficult for me, but I'm trying to incorporate a lot of things into my life at the moment and struggling to find a place where they can all be equally enjoyed. That being said, not having a balance is weirdly not a bad thing too. Have balance in your life, but be prepared to change your schedule over time. It's important to be able to have that balance later in life, once you understand everything that you want to be in your life, if that makes sense. So if you're at the same point as me, you're trying to add stuff to your life, so be prepared for it to not be balanced. Because you're going to be starting new habits, you're going to be wanting to make sure that your focus is on that habit, so there's going to be a lot more time putting into solidifying it into your life. But once you're at a point where you had everything in your life, and you're confident that you have all the factors of your life put together, habit-wise at least, then you need to have a look at making sure that there is a balance between all the different areas that you feel will make you happy in the long term. And that's important. Practice kindness and compassion. Now, in my opinion, I think the people who are happiest in life and live the most incredible lives are also, generally speaking, the nicest people and most incredible people. And I think that's just the way it works. So I absolutely recommend that you practice being kind and compassionate to people, which is kind of a basic thing, but regardless of the situation, I feel like it will provide you great benefits emotionally and allow you to live a better life overall. So let me think of an example. If we take Gary Vee for example, you might know him. He's a very kind person and he focuses a lot on putting passion back into business and specifically being kind as a forefront to his business. And he puts it ahead of the desire to make money off people. And I think this is a great way to live for a majority of reasons. But in terms of what we're talking about now, it's important to treat others with kindness because it will help yourself, in a selfish way, feel a lot more connected and fulfilled. And it'll help you develop better relationships with the people you talk to because you are genuinely coming from a place of happiness and kindness and you want what is good for them. And in turn, they will want what is good for you. And it should go without saying that being kind and compassionate is definitely a great way to improve a relationship with anyone. Because if you didn't know already, being a bad person tends to not be a very attractive feature of a friend or partner or whatever. So if you're trying to create a group of friends that are great people, which you are, if you're watching this video then you are, you should definitely be a kind of compassionate person, because you will attract people who are also kind and compassionate and will most likely help you throughout the rest of your life. And you're most likely to meet these people when you take risks and try new things, which is the next point I'm going to make. So if you have the opportunity to do anything that you're even remotely interested in, and you can, you should absolutely take the opportunity, regardless of whether it makes sense or not. This is my view, and you may not agree, but like, I just think you should. Taking a risk and trying something new will make you step out of your comfort zone, and it will 100% grow you as a person and expand what you think you can do. A lot of people think that they're doing as much as they can, and then they realize that their ability is actually a lot more than they imagined. And you should never be afraid to try something new, because the worst thing that can happen is that you don't like it. If you don't like it, then you don't have to worry about it ever again. The worst feeling in the world is giving up on an opportunity and then wondering whether or not you would have loved to do it or not. There are a few times where I passed up on an opportunity and a great chance to make memories, and I would never be able to do that again. Obviously, I'm not saying like jump out of a plane and see what happens. I was saying like, make sure that if you're taking a risk, make sure it's calculated and treating new things more like new challenges. So they are merely something to be experienced and overcome. And if you love them, then embed them into who you are as a person. Don't just sit there and be like, oh, I've done this thing, I really loved it, but now I guess it's time to move on. No, if you love it, make it a part of who you are now. And the last one I've got is find ways to give back. So giving back to other people through volunteering or charity work, or just by being there for a friend, arguably is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life. So I volunteer every week, and ever since I've started doing it, I felt a lot more fulfilled in my life. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I've only been doing it for a couple of weeks, to be fair. Maybe a month and a half. And, you know, this might just be me, but honestly, the feeling you get when you're helping someone else and the look they give you when they're genuinely thankful for what you're doing is something that no amount of money can actually get you. I also felt a lot more connected to the community around me because I was actively making an impact on these people's lives. Whereas before I would just kind of sit in my room and work, now I actually have an impact on someone's life just by being there and helping them. And it is a huge change of pace. So what I recommend that you do, if you have spare time, is find a way to give back to someone. It could be anyone, really. You can work for a charity, you can volunteer somewhere, or it can be a friend that you think needs a little bit of help. But find a way to give back and make that a value in your life that you try and reflect as much as possible. When you can, you give back to others, because it will create an incredible person to go with that incredible life that you want. In order to make an incredible life, you need to become an incredible person. That is what you need to remember. And both of these will take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I love effort. But hopefully by implementing some of these ideas that I've put down, you should be able to create a life that is both intentional and also incredibly full of excitement, and overall a life that you love. These are lessons that I'm working on implementing every day. Subscribe if you haven't already to join a community of people on their journey to self-improvement. Would love to have you part of the community. And remember, one step at a time and you'll be fine.